Want your boss to put some real action behind the rhetoric when they talk about making your workplace more inclusive? Find out how to hold their feet to the fire and demand diversity on the Diversity Dude podcast.
Hello there, and welcome back to the Diversity Do podcast. I'm your host, Lambert Fisher, marriage and family therapist, award-winning author, and national speaker on the topic of multicultural awareness and diversity. And for those of you who are interested in even more positive and encouraging tips and strategies beyond what I share in podcasts like this, then feel free to check out my award-winning book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, nationally recognized for the unique way in which it addresses the often difficult topic of multicultural awareness and diversity. And it's designed for more than just therapists. For if you're a helping professional in any way, diversity in clinical practice can help you meet the greatest variety of cultural needs possible for those whom you serve. And it's available in paper and audiobook versions for your convenience. And whether it be through my one on one relationship efforts as a therapist or my informing and empowering efforts as an author or speaker, know that my personal mission is to do my part to improve the world one strengthened relationship at a time. So, today I want to share with you a few encouraging words to anyone who has ever been suspected or accused of being a cultural sellout. In my most recent podcast, I had the pleasure of exploring a few healthy perspectives on the topic of prominent and everyday individuals being accused of being a cultural sellout due to decisions and behaviors that have had varying reactions in numerous communities. Feel free to go back and listen to them as they serve as a foundation for today's message. For it was after those podcasts focused on helping those on the outside looking in to understand multiple supportive and unsupportive reactions to suspected sellout decisions when I was then asked, what words of encouragement would you give directly to those individuals who feel culturally misunderstood and treated like a cultural sellout by their own community? My first response to questions like this is always to validate the frustration that generated the question in the first place. No one wants to be misunderstood, especially negatively so. And it can be even more frustrating to be treated negatively or even ignored in ways that make you feel like you haven't earned that, or ways that you haven't earned in response to or by the very people whom you're trying to care most about or seeking support for. This can often be seen when an individual either moves their home or their work efforts out of the community they identify with, and where they are amongst the majority of culturally similar individuals, and move to a new environment where they are now a cultural minority. Interestingly, despite their relocation, they still identify with their community of origin and often end up being a representative of that community in their new environment. Whether by choice or even by inevitable circumstance, they end up answering questions about their community, clearing up misunderstandings, debunking stereotypes, or even confronting offensive words or behaviors in defense of, and even advocating for the community they care so much about. Unfortunately, despite the abundance of these efforts on behalf of their community, many in this situation often find themselves being treated as if they're on the outside and no longer a part of that community when they return to that community or when they encounter individuals from their community on the outside of that environment. It's almost as if, despite their valiant efforts to represent and defend their community, the fact that they left at all sends a different message, one that in practice often results in forfeiture of many of the social benefits of being a part of that community. Here's where I share a few thoughts directly to those left out individuals. First, know that others' misunderstood perceptions of you are not more important than your knowledge of who you are, your motivations, and your values. You see, many people who suggest that someone else is a cultural sellout have not actually taken the time to explore why a person does what they do, goes where they go, feels what they feel. And yet, when accusations are expressed, the more the accusation is said, the more it can make the person being spoken about question their own motivations and values. Am I really as committed and supportive of my community as I thought? Should I be doing something differently? Am I even still a part of that community if I'm not there in the same way as I was before? In the end, while it's reasonable and healthy to ask those questions, it is also perfectly acceptable to conclude that your motivations and values are still legitimate even if others don't fully see or understand them. Second, many people inaccurately assume that cultural support can only look a certain way. As a marriage counselor, I've had 100 opportunities to support couples as they fall into common traps of believing that if you loved me, you would show it in this specific way. And then as a result, miss the reality that their partner indeed does love them, but has been trying to show it in a different way than they originally expected. The challenge for both of them is to learn the way that their partner will most likely see their love and their care and accommodate when possible, while also helping their partner see and understand the way that they're most comfortable expressing their feelings, in hopes that their partner will see, understand, and accept them as they are as well. Similarly, many people inaccurately assume that the only way to show support for one's community is to live in that particular community, to work in certain areas of that community, and to serve in specific ways in that community. And while these preferred ways of showing support are great and beneficial for those who have the opportunity to do so, they are also not the only ways of showing cultural support. Sometimes the best way to meet a need is from making the most of resources on the inside of a certain environment. And other times, the best way to meet a need is by making the most of resources on the outside to benefit those that are on the inside. Both are necessary, both are beneficial. Whether truly appreciated or not, remember that there are multiple ways to show the cultural support that you have. And third, sometimes being on the outside, misunderstood, not included in the cultural in crowd, is the very place you need to be. Many leaders will tell you that they wouldn't be as effective of a leader and advocate for the people they care about the most if they did everything exactly the same way, in the same places as everyone else in their environment. It's not a matter of better or worse, as much as the reality that being set apart has the potential to bring a unique perspective, and sometimes even amplify a voice or a message, which can in turn exponentially increase the potential impact on those being served. All that to say, not only is being on the outside a potentially temporary state based on the level of understanding or misunderstanding of those around you, but it is also not always a negative thing. And it is a reality that can be used to help you have the impact you need to have. In the end, being set apart can admittedly be lonely. However, there can also be opportunities to find and collaborate with others similarly set apart individuals and leaders for a unique kind of mutual support. And while acknowledgement and even minimal appreciation would be great as an ongoing motivator on your journey, as long as your motivation is first and foremost to be of benefit to those in your community and beyond, then seeing the results of your support efforts, even if not fully seen or appreciated by everyone, can be more fulfilling than you think. My hope for you is that you will be able to embrace your role and your value wherever you are. Remember and be driven by your genuine motivation to help others, and hold on to the impact that you have, whether it's fully seen or understood. Personally, I believe that in due time, the truth will be revealed, and you'll not only be able to see the true impact of your efforts, but you'll also experience the true appreciation of those efforts in one form or another. And with that, I'll say thanks again for listening to the Diversity Do podcast. And if you have any diversity-related pressing questions that you'd like me to address on an upcoming podcast, or if your organization is in need of a shame-free and empowering guest speaker or training on this often difficult topic, then feel free to reach out to me directly at www.lambersfisher.com. And if you know anyone else who can benefit from a positive and encouraging perspective on this often difficult topic, feel free to send them a link to this podcast, or consider sharing with them my award-winning book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, available in paper and audiobook formats on Amazon.com. And I look forward to addressing as many topics as possible in future podcasts to help you improve as many relationships as possible at work, at home, and in your community. And as always, remember this: you don't need to know everything about everyone in order to have a positive impact on someone. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a great day.
Tune in each week and find out how to demand and implement diversity at your job. To hear more, check out previous Diversity Dude shows on ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com.
You deserve more internet than what you get from just your cell phone. Get free high-speed internet at home, a $29.95 value when you qualify for Internet Essentials Plus and the Affordable Connectivity Program. Enjoy more streaming, gaming, and video chatting on more devices for free, with unlimited data and a wireless gateway included at no extra cost. No fees, no taxes, and no annual contract. Connect to more of what you love for free with Xfinity and the Affordable Connectivity Program. Click, call, or visit a store to learn more.
All right, did you know I was the mommy slam dunk champion?
Really?
Yes, really don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, I go to left, fake a mom. Mama, go up, mama!
She did it.
Again?
You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh.
New year, more money, honey. Are you a minority or women-owned business in the Twin Cities and ready to take your business to the next level? Then I got the perfect opportunity for you. Hy-Vee's Opportunity Inclusive Business Summit is taking place on Thursday, February 9th at U.S. Bank Stadium's Polaris Room in a space donated by your Minnesota Vikings. This summit will be a day full of networking and professional development activities. The day also will include a pitch competition where local minority and women-owned businesses will showcase their products or services for the chance to win up to $30,000. You heard that right, $30,000. As a matter of fact, Hy-Vee is still taking submissions to be considered for the pitch competition, but time is running out. Go to HyVeeOpportunitySummit.com by Thursday, January 12th to submit your application for your chance to pitch your product or business and win up to $30,000. 2023 is your year to jumpstart your small business. Register now for Hy-Vee's Opportunity Inclusive Business Summit at HyVeeOpportunitySummit.com to attend the expo and network with other business professionals. And if you're ready to win some money for your business, submit your application for the pitch competition for a chance to win up to $30,000. Register now and get your spot at Hy-Vee's Opportunity Inclusive Summit by Thursday, February 9th at U.S. Bank Stadium's Polaris Room. Space donated by your Minnesota Vikings.